Hello, gorgeous humans. So I am, first of all, actually just testing this connection, and I will wait until someone joins me. Yes, okay, I see people are joining me, so I would love some feedback on how's my connection. If you can hear me well, if you can see me well, if there's no glitching happening, because I am on the Wi-Fi and it may be a little bit weak. Hello, please give me feedback. Can you hear me, see me, and everything well? Thank you so much. Okay, so I take it as a yes. Okay, great. Okay, my loves, so I am in a very exciting moment. Perfect. Thank you for this feedback. So I am in this very exciting moment of my life where I've been so carried by life the last days, and I felt so immersed in my experience. And that is actually quite a typical thing for me to experience when I am in Ibiza. So if you've been with me for a while, you would know that I used to live in Ibiza for a few years because this land just had such a magical pool. Like whenever I came here, just things would just, like, I don't know, doors are opening, connections are made. I feel invited, I feel myself, I feel expressed, I feel carried. So that was the reason why I even moved here some years ago, and it was amazing to live here. But then I left. We left together with my beloved, and now we are back after almost 2 years of not being here, and it's just like, wow, so cool, so cool. And you know, sometimes we just have those specific. It's actually even astrologically you can find out how it is for you, but actually even astrologically you can find out that there are certain points on this planet that are really good for you and that have this really powerful energetic field that is really in coherence with your energy. So that's what Ibiza is for me, and I was really feeling to go live from here and to share this energy with you and also connect today, because today is a solar eclipse. So it's also a really potent moment for us, and it's a moment, like solar eclipse is the time when unconscious becomes conscious, when lots of patterns may appear and you may feel very overwhelmed and very kind of taken by something, by an energy that doesn't feel so good. So I'm curious if that's your experience. Like, how are you right now? How are you in this time? Because it may be intense. But I'm here to say, and what I want to talk about today is very linked to what you may be going through, and I do hope that you find some answers and some confirmation or some guidance in whatever you're facing. So it boils down to leadership. It all boils down to leadership. And if you've read the post I just posted, it's like leadership. We typically think that leadership is about leading others, but actually real leadership, the true leadership, is about leading ourselves first. It's about coming with more and more certainty, with more and more depth into our own power, with more and more trust, with more and more surrender into our supreme path. That's what leadership is. And this is what gets tested always. Always, always, always. Yeah, and we cannot even blame it to Mercury retrograde or solar eclipse, because we actually are always invited into our leadership. And first time live after almost a year of replays of videos and masterclasses. Yes, blessings. I'm so happy you're here. So leadership tends to get tested, and these tests are not like, you know, it's not that some kind of bad energy is playing tricks on us, but it's actually universe inviting us into our greatest power. Whenever there are challenges in life, whenever you are tested, whenever you are confronted, whenever you are like, oh my gosh, I really, really don't like what is going on, typically it's because there are patterns that are being activated. And the best thing to do is to get really honest about these patterns. And I want to talk about a few patterns that I've observed that are really present collectively, that you may resonate with. So to be a powerful leader, to lead others powerfully, you need to be really established in yourself. You need to be really rooted in profound confidence and inner power and tremendous trust in who you are, in what you stand for, and where you're going. When you have that, that's number one priority. I have a leadership training coming up in Service to Love, and that's what it's all about. It's not about finding some kind of tricks and tips on how to lead others. It's all about leading yourself. When you lead yourself, and you may go like, oh, okay, I know it's all about myself. Blah, blah, blah. No, wait, hang on with me. Because, of course, if you've experienced a certain level of awakening, you cannot help but you want to serve. You cannot help but you want to show up for others. You cannot help but you want to do good. And then you're like, okay, how do I do good better? And I'm telling you, it's all about coming into this profound clarity within yourself, this profound embodiment of the one you came here to be, and knowing that with your inner work, your best keeps getting better. And you are the one responsible for it. And all of life is inviting you into it. So your confidence in yourself is what then enables you to even lead others, is what then oozes out of you. It's like your vibration, you're vibrating, that you are imprinting, infusing the whole field wherever you show up, be it in person or be it online. The field is infused with your energy. And then others respond to that, obviously. And then they choose whether they trust you or not, whether they want to be led by you or not, whether they want to be in your field, whether they want to walk side by side with you, whether they want to be mentored by you, whether they want to purchase your products or services. They decide that based on what are you emanating, what kind of vibration you are emanating, what kind of energy you are infusing the field with. So, that's why we are here. That's why we are beginning and never ending with ourselves. Not only it is really about deepening and deepening and deepening into ourselves, but it's also clearly then is seen, like your results are showing that. People are seeing that. People are recognizing you. And that's just how it goes. It's your own ascension, your own development of consciousness is what then brings the right people to you. It's what then brings the right clients to you. It's what brings then wealth to you. It's what brings success to you. Everything is coming from this place, from this alignment in yourself, from this growth, continuous growth of your consciousness. So some of the patterns that I'm seeing, one is when you start to understand that like Newtonian physics gave us only a very partial understanding of reality. Then you start to understand the quantum physics, and you start to understand that your vibration informs your field, and whatever you get in life is a reflection of your vibration. Yeah, in short. That's also the same truth that the mystics, tantric mystics, have been speaking about for thousands of years. Yeah, that everything is energy, and we can grow in consciousness in a way that we actually move that energy, we direct that energy, we channel that energy. And when you come out, like understand this, it's like, okay, it's all about me. It's all about my work. It's all about my vibration. But then what comes up is fear of losing control. This is a very strong one. Fear of not being in control. Because when you go like, okay, I get up in the morning, this is my routine, this is what I do, this is like, I know that if I put a lot of effort, I'm going to get a lot of result. Yeah, basically that's a controlled way of life based on Newtonian physics, based on like the more you do, the more you get back, like kind of logic. Yeah. But it's this limited view of reality when you choose to play in a bigger field, play in the field of unlimited abundance, play in the field of absence of scarcity, play in the field of the quantum, a true tantra, actually, then you are like confronted. You're like, okay, let me focus. Let me just have this amazing time. Let me just be here, be in this moment, be immersed in my experience. Let me like play here. And then the mind goes like, did you do this? Did you prepare that? Did you take care of this? Did you make sure that like everything is right? Did you do all the right things? And you're like, no, hang on. Like, wait, I am doing the right thing. I am focusing on myself. I am expanding my frequency. I am like, like playing the game. Like I am working on my vibration. And then, no, but did you take care of all the things? Like, did you make sure that you did all the right things? Oh my gosh, no, I am doing my thing now. But this voice in the mind, this controlling voice in the mind will always try to sabotage your experience. And again, will try to bring you into the predictable three-dimensional reality. Yeah. If I lose my routines, I lose it all. Yeah, that's what this voice says. If I don't do that much, if I don't work so much, if I don't work this amount of hours, I will lose it. No one will see me. No one will recognize me. I will lose customers. But come back to the quantum. No, what matters is who you are. What is your frequency? What are you vibrating? What is your actual experience? If you are there having this routine and you are hating it, and you're like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to go through this day. I cannot wait. This is just like, and you're putting just like half of yourself, you're half present doing different things. You are feeling already bitter and you are feeling guilty and maybe even ashamed of what you're doing. And you are like in this, like, and you're getting lower and lower. You're spiraling lower and lower down. You do kind of the right things, but you are not happy. Who benefits from that? And it gives a sense of that you are in control. It gives a sense of fake safety. It gives a sense of like, okay, I know this has worked in the past, let me do it again. But I can tell you, like in my own experience, and any one of you who is like launching products or services, you may have had the same experience, that you are doing exact same thing that you've done in the past. And in the past you did something and you're like, you created that kind of sequence in your launch, let's say, product or service. You've created the sequence in your launch. You know how many emails to send, what to post, what to say, when to go live, like, you know, all the things. And one time you did that and it worked amazingly. And you really had the results you prayed for and you were like, yes, good. Then at a different time in your life, you're doing the same thing again, the same exact same thing, same emails, same messages, same posts, same lives. You speak about the same thing and crickets. No response. What? Like, why? How? Like, what is going on? Why no response? I did the same thing. It worked in the past. How can it not work now? How? Because you are vibrating at a different place. That's why business strategy, lots of people are really into business strategy. They think, okay, give me the right strategy, what to post, when to post, Instagram algorithm, how do I go about it? Give me the right things to do and I will be fine. And I'm telling you, you will not be. The strategy will only work if you are energetically aligned with it. Yeah, so this kind of sequence worked for you back then because it was a natural, you were in a certain energetic state that was backing that sequence, that was backing that strategy. You are now in a different energetic state and that sequence does not work. And then you can go like on and you try to push harder and you're like, okay, maybe I should send another extra email and I need to make another extra effort and I need to work a little bit more and let me like do all the, like, let me do more. And then it's like, dude, just stop and tune into yourself. What is actually going on for you? What are you actually feeling? Where are you? Like, what's going on for you? Where is your energy? Are you trapped in guilt and overdoing and pushing because you're trying to prove to your mother that you are worthy? Yeah. Unconscious things becoming conscious. That's what I started this live with. Unconscious things becoming conscious. If you see yourself pushing, stop for a moment, take a breath. What are you doing? Who are you trying to impress? What are you trying to prove? Are you trying to prove your worth? Are you trying to prove to your father that you actually are intelligent and you have something to say? Are you trying to prove to your mother that you are not as miserable as she sometimes, unconsciously made you feel? Is that what you're doing here? Or are you actually being in your true place? Are you actually being connected to who you are and to your gifts and like relaxed in your experience? So this is one major pattern that may become conscious for you now, and I really hope that this is helpful. Let me know if you recognize yourself here. That's big. Yeah, where you realize that energy leads. Who you are being leads. Your confidence, your trust in yourself leads. And then everything else unfolds from there. From here, from this place, you're going to come up with the right strategy. You're going to say the right thing. But you first need to be connected to yourself. And that's the hardest thing. Because that is not just connect to yourself. Okay, connect to myself. Okay, connect to myself. Connect to myself. No, it's not like that. When you connect to yourself, it's actually a result of profound inner work. Connection to yourself, it's a profound inner work. It's a continuous work. It's a work on understanding what do you actually stand for? What kind of world you actually want to live in? What are your desires, really? Really, what do you really want? Because lots of people don't even know what they want. They're just like, well, this thing seems to be working for others, so let me try it. That's like, it's not gonna work. Maybe it will work for a little bit, but it's not gonna be sustainable. You have to find your desire, your true desire, because through your desire, it's the divine speaking. It's the divine guiding you, like, hey, you have to go here. Hey, you have to do this. This is lighting your heart on fire. Follow that. That's the desire. Yeah, then you need to realize your values. What do you really, what are your standards? What kind of world do you want to live in? What kind of energy do you want to see in this world? How do you want to be greeted? How do you want to be embraced by this world? And then guess who has to cultivate that first? Yourself. Yeah, it's our work. So this continuous clarifying, because like so many people go through life like, oh well, it didn't feel good, and then you just continue. But what you can do is like, okay, that didn't feel good, why? Let me stop here, let me pause here, let me focus on this, let me change it, let me see what worked, what didn't work, let me see how do I lead here, myself. Yeah, then so many people say, well, they didn't make me feel like I belong. They didn't make me feel like I matter. Well, people didn't respond to me, Well, now there is inflation. Now there is, so many problems on this planet. That's why. This is not leadership. This is, again, childhood patterns playing, unconscious becoming conscious. Yeah, this is childhood patterns playing. Recognize them. Recognize where you're outsourcing your power, when you're making others, responsible for how you feel. Be it inflation, be it other people, doesn't matter. You go, okay, no, where is my frequency? Where is my leadership? Am I leading here? Or am I just following? Am I choosing this experience? How am I choosing this experience? Who do I want to be, actually? So all this clarity, continuous work on clarifying. And so much of this work is connected to the third eye. In yogic and tantric understanding, it's a third eye, awakened, developed third eye that supports that. And modern life is not actually promoting awakened third eye. When we get hypnotized by media and by just a collective brainwash, it's actually blurring the third eye. You're not able to see the truth. You see things through colored perception, through what society has offered us, but there's no true vision, like your vision, your ability to cut through the noise, to go like, okay, this person's presenting this to me. Is this really true? Do I really connect with that? Is it true for me? Yeah, this is what happens through awakened third eye. Is this path right for me? Is this the right path? It's your third eye, your awakened third eye, that will show you that you see clearly, okay, this path, does that feel good? And the thing with the path Yeah, trusting your path is so much about, surrender. It's so much about surrender to your dharma. And so few people have awareness of dharma, and it's such a big piece of my work. Dharma, yeah, recognizing your dharma, recognizing that there is actually your own unique thread in this universe. There is actually your own unique river that carries you through life, and through that, through you being rested in this river, this is how the universe is expressing herself. This is how the universe is creating herself. And that's what there is. Yeah, this is what there is for us to tap into, this creation. The divine creating itself. This is what happens when you lean into the river of your dharma and you stop the resistance. You stop the resistance to everything that's coming to you. Instead, you recognize that you can melt the resistance and lean into the flow that carries you always, always, always. And then the resistance is what takes us out of the river, and then you have to walk, and that's why it feels so hard, and you feel like you have to push through obstacles and obstacles and obstacles. You're off track. You got out of the river. Come back to the river. Come back to the river. How do you come back to the river? You come back to that intimacy with yourself. When you live in intimacy with yourself, you are in the river and you are carried. And where you are carried, you're always carried to the ocean. That's where all rivers lead, to the ocean of totality, the ocean of remembrance of who you truly are, the ocean of remembrance of your divinity. So that's what happens on the path of Dharma. You become yourself with every corner, with every turn, you become more and more yourself. So that's what happens, yeah, with this trust. How to find this trust? Yeah, sometimes people say, okay, wow, that sounds amazing. How do I find that? Like, I don't have it. I don't have this trust. Like, I look at you, you have this trust. And, you know, when I was 23 and I left Russia, I left my whole life. I left everything I've known. I left my friends, I left my family, I left everything. How did I know? I didn't know. I didn't know that it was right. Well, I knew that what was there in my life was really off. Like, it really didn't feel good on no level. Like, it was off. And I was trying to push my way through what felt so off. And then typically we don't even understand that we have options. But I'm here to say that we always have options. And you have to remember that you have the options. That's where you activate your free will. So, I absolutely love this program. It covers so much and landed profoundly for me. Thank you, dear Sofia. I took so many notes that I can write a book in your name. So much gratitude. You're talking about In Service to Love, right? This is my upcoming program. It begins next Monday. I'll speak about it more in the end of the live. I'm so happy. Thank you so much for sharing this. So yeah, like, I didn't know back then, and that's how most people, like, you don't know, but there's something, you know, you just stop the noise, you stop being distracted by the noise in your mind, and you get into the intimacy of, like, okay, but what do I actually want? That's what changed my life. I connected with a point inside me. What do I actually want? And at that time, all I wanted was, like, okay, I just want to practice yoga and be in India. Like, that's all I wanted. And that changed everything. Although everyone around me was telling me, you are crazy. You studied in the most prestigious university of Russia. You studied law. You have a, opportunity to have the most extraordinary life, the most extraordinary career, with so much wealth, with so much abundance. And you are going where? In India? To the jungle? What? Like, are you crazy? That's what people were telling me. And now, fast forward, about 12 years, 13 years. Now, fast forward 13 years. Who am I? I've helped thousands of people all over the planet to remember who they are, to remember their true path, to get out of situations that were not right for them, to enter situations that are amazing for them, to restore their relationships, to restore their marriages, to bring extra passion and joy and ecstasy to their lives. I am living this life of complete freedom and, like, knowing that I can do anything, I can be anyone. I'm running $1 million a year company. Like, that's what I did. You're crazy. You went to the jungle. No, I'm not. I'm not crazy. I trusted the path. I trusted this intimacy. I trusted that deep, deep, profound inner calling. And that's what brought me where I am today. And another thing that I find, how can I overcome humiliation stemming from not showing up in my full power? I need to break through the barriers and break the cycle. So that's a really powerful point here, because showing up in your full power is not something that just happens now. It's like, come on, show up in your full power now. And you're like, what are you talking about? It's a step-by-step process. It's such intimate. I keep saying this word intimacy, but that's what it boils down to. It's this intimacy with yourself. It's such an intimate, such a delicate, such a sacred process that goes moment by moment. To be a leader means to not demand yourself to be someone you are not right now. To be a leader, you have to respect where you are. You have to know where you're going. You have to know your desires. And you have to respect where you are right now, not making it any less significant, any less important than where you're actually headed. This is just so, so profoundly important, to respect your path, and then know that brick by brick, you are building yourself. You are building yourself to come into your full power, and you're getting the support you need, and you are doing the things that you need to do to support that, because this is of ultimate priority. This is your life. You have one life. This is your life. This is your life where you can experience the fullness of your potential. Prioritize this life. Prioritize your leadership. Prioritize empowerment of your leadership. There's nothing more important than that. Because prioritize your dharma, remembering your dharma. Because from this point, from this remembrance, everything else unfolds. Like me making that step, making that massive change in my life, leaving the country I was living in, then leaving my later, some years later, leaving my husband, my ex-husband, with whom, also so many people were telling me you're crazy. But then all of that brought me to where I am now, in the best health I've ever had, in the best relationship I've ever had, in the best success, in the best expression of myself I've ever had. All of that was built brick by brick. It's not that one day I woke up and I was all that I am today. No, it took so long to come here. And this path was sacred every step along the way. Every point mattered. And whenever you look at someone who has so much success and who is where you would like to be, don't forget that they've had this massive path. And they may be a few steps ahead of you. And what is important is to open your heart and to feel the humanity of other people, and to realize that every human being that you admire, they've built themselves brick by brick like that. No point in comparing yourself to others. Where someone is and where you are doesn't matter. And how your path is going to unfold doesn't matter. My path has been pretty long. See that actually it was also important for me, because I know that I had to have these specific experiences so that my students, so that my clients don't have to. I did this work for all of us. And my unique path was unique to me, and yet now people who tap into my frequency, tap into my transmission, they get things that I spent years and sometimes what feels like lifetimes cultivating. So there's no mistake in your unique path and your unique learnings, because people who are then meant to be influenced by you will also benefit from that tremendously. Yeah, you can ask me questions. It's fun actually. Let's have it like this, interactive. Now I find myself at a point in my life where my truth pulls me one way, but it scares me. Powerful. If you don't have fear in your life, it's probably not a very powerful life you're living. You're probably not living full out if there's no fear in your life. There has to be fear. In Russian, there is a saying that says, "Who doesn't risk doesn't drink champagne." Yeah. You have to feel that you are invited into your next step. Next step will feel expansive. It will feel scary, therefore. All the great steps in life, they feel scary. If you are investing into something, you're investing financially, you're investing your energy into something, and it doesn't scare you, it's probably not the right thing for you. Think about that, yeah? Those big investments, those big steps, they are expanding, they are scary, but that's exactly how we expand. Okay, so I stopped halfway through your question. Now I find myself at a point in my life where my truth pulls me one way, but it scares me because I have a daughter and feel pressure to sustain life financially. Yeah, so you have to trust yourself. Yeah, you have to keep cultivating that, clarifying the fluff out of yourself and trusting yourself and going into this place of like, I got myself. This is also cultivation of inner masculine, which is also leadership work. Yeah, cultivation of the inner masculine, which is no matter what goes on in your life, you trust yourself. You know that there is a part in you, which I call the eye of the tornado, which is not shaken no matter what kind of anxieties you're going through. Because now you're like, okay, I have a daughter, I'm responsible. Imagine the worst case scenario. What can happen? Okay, suddenly whatever you had an idea, it didn't fly, you didn't make as much money to sustain. What's gonna happen then? Then we normally block the next thing. Then it's like, I don't know, it will be horrible. What will happen then? Then you will come up with another idea and you will make it work. And you got it. And you got her, and she came to your life because she chose you. She knew what kind of mother you are, and she chose you. That's why she's there. So you gotta trust yourself. And then she will also trust you, and she will trust herself also. How can I restore my marriage after I was one who sabotaged it? My husband's afraid of me not actually changing for better. Unconscious becoming conscious. Yeah, you have to realize why did you sabotage it, what were you actually afraid of, and you have to own it. You have to take full responsibility for your part in that, and you have to have a very vulnerable, very deep conversation with him and show up for that. Okay. How do you integrate who you've been, what you've created in the past with who you are becoming? Perfectly. Perfectly. I actually have a podcast episode that when I was talking to my client Ines, and we talked about this exactly. You can check it out, the latest podcast episode on my podcast. Because that's what I experienced in my life. That's what I see in so many of my clients, that actually everything you've been through in your life, all of these pieces, they are pieces of the puzzle who you are. All the things that you've ever loved in your life, they all constitute the totality of who you are. And in that episode, we talked about how often when people turn to spirituality, it seems like some parts of you are not welcome in spirituality. That you should not enjoy luxury, you shouldn't enjoy fashion, you shouldn't enjoy having amazing, stunning experiences. You should be satisfied with a little. You have to be humble. You have to do all these different things. Yeah. But then when you activate the third eye more and you drop the veils, you realize that actually all of that is a part of your gift. All the things you've ever been drawn to, like genuinely, and you really enjoy, and you really it meets you on somewhere in this on the soul level. All of that then becomes a part of your gift, and all of that can be integrated. Yeah, so like for me, you can see a 7-figure spiritual mentor. What an integration here. Yeah, normally you would imagine if you're a spiritual teacher, spiritual mentor, you shouldn't be talking about money. And I talk about money, and I talk about prosperity, and I talk about like really finding fulfillment on every level of your being. I'm talking about sexuality. Then you can also say, wow, spirituality and sexuality, how does it go together? Business and spirituality? Yes, perfectly, because spirituality that I am standing for, tantric spirituality, includes everything, all aspects of reality. And when we bring consciousness in all aspects of reality, we awaken and we bring light in the densest, darkest aspects of this humanity. And that's exactly what we need to do collectively and consistently. So, okay, let me see, what else are you saying? Oh, this brought me to tears, Sophia. Thank you. I needed to hear this externally. I'm very happy. You find this podcast when you go into my links in bio, and there, like, you just scroll a little bit, you will see there's Boundless Love podcast, and there you will find many different directories where you can find it. Oh, Argentinian tango and what it takes to be a great leader. Actually, Argentinian tango has very powerful, there's a very powerful dynamic for masculine and feminine energy, and also for the leader and the one who surrenders to the leadership. It's a beautiful dance, beautiful way to understand leadership. But then you also get to bring that into your life. Yeah? When to lead, when to direct, when to surrender, when to soften. I resonate so much with everything you're sharing. I know I'm here to heal and help others heal, but I don't have confidence in my knowledge, although I'm clairsentient. I struggle to be in my power. So you need to clarify. Yeah, you need to clarify, because if you don't, if you don't have confidence, if you don't have the trust, it will come across as wobbly in the field, and therefore others also will not trust you. So you have to cultivate your clarity. Yeah, although you already have a lot of clarity, but you have to direct it towards yourself, because that's what I see very often with powerful healers, that we can see so much about others, but not so much about ourselves. That's why it's so good to be in containers that are supportive for you to clarify who you actually are, who you came here to be, and all the different aspects. So really, really recommending that. And so happy that I can provide those spaces for you, for those of you who feel called to be in a closer proximity and closer work with me. Okay, okay, beautiful humans. So I feel like we've had a really rich conversation, really rich time together. There are a lot more things that, of course, I want to, thank you, that I want to cover. And that's why I have my leadership training in service to love. And okay, how not to appear like you are in your ego by being confident. I mean, there's one more piece that I wanted to say, and your question is really reminding me of that. So let me speak to that. How to not appear like you are in your ego by being confident. Okay, so here's the thing. For a lot of spiritual people, or people who really like are rooted in the heart, and who really are rooted in a lot of kindness and compassion, and like really like this kind of life of the heart, very frequently there comes a sense that you have to be humble. And this humbleness, although may be a beautiful quality, and that's one of the most frequent feedbacks that I get as a leader, that people tell me, oh my gosh, you are so humble. And I used to take it as a compliment. And to honor the personal identity, and to love it, and to shine as all that they are. But we have to do it first for ourselves, and realize that in this humbleness, sometimes we are not aware of our power. We don't take enough responsibility for our power. We don't understand that actually whichever place you walk in, you have a power to influence it, to change the frequency of this place. You walk into a supermarket, you can change the energetic frequency of it, depending on how you hold yourself. And there's this humbleness of like, oh, it doesn't matter, I don't matter. Yeah. And this, like, typically in spirituality, like, there will be a sense of like, well, you are just being too you are too ego driven or something like that. But actually the opposite is true. That usually it's like your ego is too involved. You're trying to be nobody, you're trying to be so humble because the ego is so involved. So it's a disservice. Yeah. Being overly concerned about being humble is a disservice, is actually a disconnect from the true gifts. So I really recommend you to rethink that, and to know that when you're confident but you are rooted in the heart, and you are caring, and you are blunt, and you are caring, and you are direct, and you are caring, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. And of course, you don't want to go into arrogance. Arrogance is just another side of the same coin. But also trusting in that you don't actually have worth is not good for anyone. So, beautiful ones, I think that oh, something happened with the connection. I hope can you all hear me well now? Okay. So, let's talk about how we can actually work together and how we can deepen into all of this, because I have so much to give you about leadership. This work of my whole life, my whole conscious life work, the last 30 years of my life are all put into in service to love, because that's how I call my life. This is service to love. My whole life is dedicated to that. So I created a course that is called In Service to Love, and we are about to go into the third round of this course. So I want to talk about this because I really don't want you to miss this incredible opportunity that you have to really deepen your leadership, to really bring so much clarity into every aspect of who you are, so that this clarity then vibrates and resonates into the field through you, through your embodiment, through your frequency. So In Service to Love is entirely dedicated to that. And it has 2 modules. They run back to back, but you have a little bit of space between. So because it's a really rich, really deep work, you can take one module or another, or recommended to take both. And it appears a lot to me, like Sabrina is saying. I saw that there are 11 modules and 18 days for each part. So there are 10 modules for each part, and like, I cannot tell you exactly the schedule right now, but it will work, and you don't have to be there live always. Yeah, you can always schedule it, and I recommend scheduling in advance when you're gonna watch the modules if you cannot be there live. But it flows beautifully. The way I structured all the transmissions, like, you're not gonna be overwhelmed. In the first round when I did it, it was a little bit too packed. Then I learned, and I spread it out a lot more. And so there is a lot. It's powerful, it's transformational, it's life-changing. You're going to be really held in the field of the transformation of this training. And you will have space to catch up. You will have longer access, which is amazing, actually, because if you attend something in person, you don't get to access replays. Yeah, you're just there. You're in person. You are like joining a training. You're there. But actually, here I'm also giving you access to replays, so you're gonna be able to revisit things or catch up on things at a later time. So no stress, full abundance for everyone. And the classes are between 60 and 90 minutes. So let me know. Let me know if you have anything else to ask me about that. But yeah, the incredible work ahead of us. And if you know you want to do leadership work, if you know you want to stabilize in your mature inner masculine, that place, that the eye of the tornado that holds you no matter what, in service to love is amazing for that. But you also get to know how to activate your energy body so that your energy is vibrating at the highest frequency and infusing the field with your highest frequency. So that's all a part of in service to love. But if you then want to, if you're a woman, because for men are welcome to join in service to love, but for women, if you want to take it even further, and if you want to really activate your feminine body, and you want to like really feel like you are really like living in this body, you are connected to your sexuality, you are connected to your eroticism, you are radiant, you are magnetic, you are in your feminine flow, then I really recommend to join the Deep Feminine, and you can bundle them together. So the profound work on inner masculine in service to love, and profound work on inner feminine. And this kind of work you won't find anywhere, none of these things. It's really like unique things that I've built, that I've created. These two together, it's just such a beautiful combo. So I have the Tantric Priestess bundle, which includes both. And you get to save, and you get to even access some other of my smaller courses that I'm just adding there for you. So let me know if you want that. Just message me and I can send you the link for that. The link for the Deep Feminine, the link for In Service to Love are all in my bio, so you can join that. And the Deep Feminine is also live. We are meeting once a week, and you will have transmission and a practice, and then you will get to have the practice to keep repeating it throughout the week if you're available. If you want to, recommend it. Yeah, because the practices will be very like really deep work. So you will want to repeat them, and then every week we'll be building and going deeper and deeper and deeper into the feminine surrender, into the feminine love. So beautiful ones. Voila. You have the replay of this if you're late. And it's been a joy to be with you. I'm sending you so much love from Ibiza. I cannot wait to start our In Service to Love journey on Monday. It's already so soon. And a beautiful, beautiful group is coming together. It will be delightful. And have a beautiful rest of your week. Ciao, ciao.